about these downs. I'm not sure that there were more than 4 downs run, so they may have run 5 downs.
Instead of the game being over, it appears that the Redskins get the 5th down.
And the cat is elusive. He's walking. He's walking to the 3. He's at the 2. Field, and the cat runs into the end zone. That is a touchdown.
Snap, placement, kick by Hartley, and it is good! It's good! It's good! Pigs have flown. Hell is frozen over. The Saints are on their way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's not going to happen for a while.
Not this year. No. Hey, what's up, man? All right, guys, welcome back to the 5th down. I'm the captain.
Hi,
With
I'm
me is
Tootsy. Hi.
Hi. All right, guys, it's been a couple weeks. Life kind of caught up with us, put us in a precarious situation. But, we're coming back to you live today to catch up on everything we've missed.
Which is a lot. First off, congratulations to the United States team for moving to the next round of the World Cup.
USA.
You beat Iran. So we're now going to move into the part of the World Cup that doesn't allow for ties.
Right. Yes, exactly. Now they play another period. If it's still tied, then they go 2 kicks.
Yes.
So a little more interesting. It's fun. You're not playing for points anymore. You just play in the win. So
let's get into college football real quick because we can knock this out while we're at.
Okay, how LSU just totally screwed themselves out of the college football playoff? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. They still had a slight chance. They don't anymore. But I'm saying with going to the SEC championship, beating Alabama the way they did, and securing that role in the national champion in the SEC championship, they still had a small outside chance. Being the 2-loss team, it was going to be difficult to put them in. I personally didn't see a way that they would have kept them out if they won the SEC. Beat Georgia, win the SEC, because you beat Georgia, you beat Alabama. You got that stank loss to Florida State and that stank loss to Tennessee. But I mean,
Tennessee's not a stank loss.
You made it count when it did.
5.
No, I'm not saying that it was a bad loss. I'm not saying that Tennessee's a bad team. I'm saying it was a really bad loss.
Yeah, we got our ass kicked. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And what happened last weekend was that was heartbreaking. I mean, look, hats off to A&M. They played their hearts out. They went for it. I've never seen so many chunk plays put on LSU defense.
I mean, honestly,
freshmen all the way through.
Yeah, honestly, A&M has been a pretty good team. They just hadn't had the ball bounce their way. They took Alabama to the wire. They took a few other teams down to the last couple plays, and they just weren't able to pull it out. They're kind of like the Lions of the college football this year. They're the best worst team you've ever seen.
That's the Saints this year, by the way. I'm just
no. The Saints are the worst team we've ever seen.
We're just bad. Oh, good Lord.
So I mean, yeah, college football playoffs. To me, you're probably still looking at Ohio State getting in, Michigan.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know, man. USC, TCU, those are some good teams right there. You got Georgia making it.
TCU can still lose to K-State.
Maybe Ohio State's on the outside looking in because of that. Maybe USC, TCU, Georgia, and who am I forgetting?
Michigan, TCU, Georgia, USC, Ohio State, and Alabama.
Yeah, those first 4. I don't see a road where Alabama gets in. I mean, Georgia would have to lose, and TCU would have to lose. A couple other teams would have to figure out how to lose a game that they're not even playing this week. USC would have to lose. I mean, it would just be a bunch of people would have to lose for Alabama to still make that chance in there. And I just don't see it, especially a 2-loss Alabama making it. I don't see it.
I would argue that, this year, just to answer the question, can a 3-loss SEC championship team get in there? No. They're not going to. They're going to, even if we would beat Georgia, we would be out of it. So look,
Yeah,
here's
we would have to
where
beat
I'm
Georgia, and an asteroid would have to hit a couple of the other teams and take
yeah.
them just completely off the face of the earth, which might cancel the college football playoffs. But if it doesn't,
No.
then
It's going to be
LSU
like
would get in.
like a mini apocalypse, not the whole thing.
Yeah.
This is where I am on the playoffs, right? So there's not all of the conferences play a championship game. Okay.
Right.
But we're having a playoff. Okay, so here's my thing, and it's rearing its ugly head again, the discussion. I think you either have to say your conference championships or playoff games and qualifiers, or you have to get rid of them. I don't care which.
I actually think every conference should have a conference championship, and it should be the same way it is. We have conference championship weekend coming up where those teams play this week. It's an extra game for them, yes, but I mean, you get better football. You got these conference championships, and every conference should have one. I don't think you should be allowed to be in the college football playoffs if you don't have one. You know, and I mean, in that case, you know, you're looking at, you know, with a 12-team playoff, isn't that what we're moving to?
Yeah, but I mean, look, you got, you know, Michigan, who isn't. I guess they're playing. I don't know. I don't count Purdue as a.
No, I mean they're not. I mean, I don't think that's a conference championship game. I think the conference championship game was actually last week. Yeah, they're just playing one more week. Yeah.
So I mean, they don't. But I'm saying they don't have a conference championship game.
And they should.
And they should. That's the conference to me that sticks out the most. And you know, either everyone's got to have one or no one has one, and we just have a playoff system. I don't care which.
Right.
I just it's not fair to those conference championship teams who go in there and grind it out like in the SEC. You might have 2 losses. You get to the you know, and then you're sitting there. Oh, look, TCU's undefeated. USC has 1 loss.
I still think LSU would have got in over both of those teams if they would have beat Alabama. I mean, beat A&M.
If we'd have beat A&M,
they could have found a way to beat Georgia. You know, you don't keep LSU out of it at that point.
Oh, absolutely.
Right,
but
the fact that they lost that game to A&M, that pretty much did them in.
A 2-loss SEC championship is you're gonna get assassins coming after you if you keep a 2-loss SEC champion out of the college football playoff.
Right. I mean, look, we may get some flack from this from people who enjoy other power conference teams and everything else, but I mean, when it comes down to it, the past 10 years, the SEC has been the tops. And I say the SEC, I mean more like Alabama has been tops, which keeps the SEC up there. I mean, it's just.
But now look, the East is on the rise, dude. You got Kentucky, built a hell of a program. Tennessee's rolling along. Georgia's, coming fresh off a national title, looking to repeat. I mean, you've got
Florida's still kind of competitive on a week.
Yeah, Florida's never going to be out of it.
Yeah.
They're a couple of players and, you know, maybe a little better scheme, you know, away from it. And look, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, they've always been good. A&M's building up. I mean, they look fantastic Saturday.
I mean, the only team
they
that's
can
really
carry that in the next year.
Shit when it comes to the SEC is Vanderbilt. You know, the fact that they're still in it just drives me insane.
Well, I mean, it's baseball, bro.
You know, yeah, and that's why they're there. They're there for baseball.
Baseball and basketball, and that's it.
You know, I mean, look, guys. I mean, college football. This is the exciting time. They're gonna name it. You get the bowl season start. You know, you're gonna have Tulane's actually gonna be in a pretty decent bowl this year. Finish up the season ranked number 12. So you know, local teams for us to see them do something is pretty magical. You know, not something we really see too much of. But you know, congratulations to all those teams that did it. LSU, you dropped the ball, but hey, you still exceeded expectations this season, to me, anyway.
Yep, and I'll take it. You know, it's a good building block. We're gonna have a lot of these guys coming back next year. It's gonna be fun.
Okay, so since we hadn't been on in the past couple of weeks, I just have one thing to say. Fuck the NFL refs. I don't have a nice way to say it. There's not another way to do it. I don't have a little doll that I can rip apart like Jim Mora did. I wish I did because I would be tearing it apart. you know, the refs are bad. There's no other way to say it. I mean, it's not just the Saints game. They were definitely bad there. I mean, Nick Bosa finished off the game 3 steps offsides and got the sack to finish off the Saints' last ray of hope at doing anything with no call. 3 steps offsides, not just like a little bitty jump. I mean, he was basically setting up a tea party in the backfield before they hacked the ball. No offsides, and he gets the sack for the win. I mean, look, that's not the only problem the Saints had this past weekend. I'm pointing that one out because that's the one that sticks to me right now. It's like the no call that just sticks out. The fact that it was so egregious and it wasn't called.
I had to turn it off after a certain point. I'm like, this is just bad.
Yeah, I mean, look, and they've been bad elsewhere in the NFL. I can't think of any off the top of my head because I did a lot of show prep today by writing absolutely nothing down. But they were bad throughout the league this weekend, in particularly. I think they had a few blown calls on Thursday with the Thanksgiving Day games. They definitely had more than one call in the Saints game. Definitely had, I think a couple missed face masks or something like that in the Green Bay game at the end. Cincinnati, I think, got screwed over by a couple, or were on the receiving end of a bad call, on the right side of it. But I mean, there's just so many that I can't even point them out anymore because they're happening in every game.
Here we go. Okay. So this is week 12. This is just week 12. Dallas, 13 for 86 yards. Tampa Bay, 9 for 70. Cincinnati, 9 for 80. Tennessee, 9 for 57. Giants, Vegas, and Frisco, all 7 for 50 to 66 yards. Okay. Saints had 6 for 46. I mean.
Yeah, but how many did San Francisco have? Keep scrolling down. Because that's the ones, that's the ones that stick out that were missed. They missed a face mask on Taysom Hill. They missed.
San Francisco had 7 for 64.
Wow. And to think if they would have called the actual ones that actually happened, there'd have been about 11.
Well, going into the week, I mean, they were talking about how Sean Hockley's team is like the most flagged squad in the NFL.
Like they throw the most flags?
Yeah.
Well, they missed the most calls too. So, I mean, if you're going to throw a flag on every play, why are you going to choose those 4 plays to not throw the flag? That's the most disgusting part of it. And look, like I said, the Saints were just disgusting this week. And to San Francisco's credit, I mean, they do have the number 1 defense in the league.
Dude,
the fact that they held a Saints offense that's stagnant, anemic, predictable, you name it, we're it, on the bad end. The fact that they held us to 0 points. I mean, look, that's what we deserve for being the way that we are when we play an offense. But to be down in the red zone 5 times and to walk away with 0 points, that's bad coaching. You took too many extra shots. You fumbled the ball. You didn't care about it. You didn't play good. You didn't protect the ball. You didn't do it. Kamara, I'm sorry, you're my dog, but I mean, this is on you. You fumbled the ball on the 1, stretching out for an extra yard when you used to have 2 more plays to get it in. I mean,
that was not a good play.
You got to do the right thing, and it wasn't done this week.
But it's him just trying to show a little load and say, hey, I got to make something happen.
I mean, I hear that.
I can't fault him for the effort, but it's just like, you're right. You got to make better. Like, look at the drive summary, okay? 4 plays, 26 yards, punt. 5 plays, 46 yards, punt. 3 plays, -4 yards, punt. 3 plays, 9 yards, punt. Okay? 2 plays, 14 yards, halftime. Missed field goal, which is just unbelievable for life.
But then again, it wasn't even. It was in the second half when the offense finally started doing something when we started to move the ball.
Yeah, and then fumbles the next drive after 87 yards.
Our defense is the one that kept us in the game. But the fact that they only allowed 13 points. I mean,
You should have been able to beat that game, like win that game with your
Yeah.
defense holding San Francisco to 13 points.
I mean, you do your job. You get into the red zone 5 times. You kick 5 field goals. You score 15 points. You win this game. I mean, that's just simple math. I mean, you do the right thing. You do your job. Will Lutz, I don't know what's your deal. I don't know if your leg has not been in the right way since you came back from whatever groin you pulled last year or whatever your injury was. But, I mean, you haven't been the same kicker we've seen, in the past. So, I mean, I think things have to change for the Saints for so many different things coming into this season. And yes, Olave's catch. I'm sorry, Thane. I'm looking at this now. I was on the wrong chat screen. But Olave's catch, not a catch and fumble. It was not a catch and fumble. It was just a catch because he caught it, maintained control, took 2-3 steps. I seen 3 feet hit. And he was down by contact, and the ground cannot cause a fumble at that point. So it would not have been a catch fumble. It should have just been a catch. I don't think the NFL knows what a catch is anymore.
I give up. I mean, it's ridiculous. College doesn't either, apparently, because apparently a receiver being vertical and upright and catching a touchdown pass and then taking 2 steps and having a knee and a hand and a forearm down, it's still not a touchdown. So,
I don't know, man. I mean, they gotta practice to be shitty from somewhere, right? You got to bring up the NFL refs from somewhere.
I guess
you might as well let them shitty officiate.
Let's
SEC
try to
game.
focus on the good stuff here, okay? Look, you hold Jimmy G to 222 yards passing. You hold the whole team to 96 yards rushing. You didn't have a single rusher go over 40 yards. Christian McCaffrey was held to 32. Elijah Mitchell 35. Jordan Mason got in the mix 5 for 25, but I think that was toward the end of the game. And I mean,
Look, our
I-
defense did the job that they were supposed to do.
yes.
Our offense just failed to do anything else, and that's why we lost 13-0. It's just we were whatever they built this team for. It wasn't that, and we're not going to win any games playing the way we played this last weekend.
Nope. All right, that's enough for the Saints. I can't deal with this anymore.
Yeah, get that crap out the way early, huh?
Yeah, let's knock it out. So the Bills-Lions game was amazing.
Yes. Lions lined it.
What a way to win a game. What a way to lose a game. I mean, you can't, dude.
Look, like I said, the Lions are the best worst team you see in the NFL, right? They're still on the losing end. They're still in the hunt in the NFC. That's how bad the NFC
is. Yeah.
Yeah, they're still in the hunt to sneak in on a wild card with the right wins and the right losses from other people. Same as the Saints. They're still in the hunt because when we lose a game, so does Tampa. We just can't seem, Tampa lose. We just can't seem to gain that game back on them. Along with the Falcons and the Panthers, who are all still in the hunt for the NFC South shit trophy that they need to receive this year for being the worst division in football.
Yeah. I mean, look, the Lions are going to – I really hope they give him one more year.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Look, when it comes down to coaches, and I'm going to say this now because I know a lot of people want Dennis Allen fired, but I really feel like you have to give a coach 3 seasons.
It's not his team yet.
I mean,
it's not his team yet.
You gotta instill. You still got to instill your game plan, your people, everything that you want, and you can see the players on the Lions want to play for Dan Campbell. They go out there and they give it their all, and they enjoy playing the game for him. So yes, the Lions need to give him another year. If he gets fired, I think we need to fire Dennis Allen and bring Dan Campbell down to New Orleans and let him coach us, because he's definitely got head coach material written on him, but you have to give him time to develop that team into something he can be.
Yes. And I think you're going to see a lot more time, coming now for some of these coaches, just because some of them are coming in, they're going to be younger. Then you got, you're in the middle of the season guys like Jeff Saturday. You know, he had
Yeah.
a really bad clock management there at the end of the game last night. So, you know, it's mistakes that are going to be made.
He needs to hire a guy for
Andy
clock
McCarthy?
management, much like Les Miles had to do. Bring a guy in to tell him exactly when to call timeouts. Because I mean, he was a center. That it's not necessarily his clock management may not necessarily be his best, idea. But
look, I think like Dan Campbell,
I mean, looking at the Colts,
he's going to be a guy who's going to get in there and motivate your guys and be able to get you, get the guys playing for you. So and look, Peyton Manning basically said, "Look, give Jeff a shot."
I mean, look at him the last 3 weeks. I mean, they won the first one, they lost the next two, but they've been competitive, which is something they hadn't been all year.
Right.
With Frank Reich's team, they have not been competitive. Now with Jeff Saturday, they're at least being competitive. It didn't look like it in the first half of that game, and he went in the locker room, he came out, he changed the scheme around, and they became competitive, and they probably should have won that game with better clock management.
Yeah. I mean, that last drive, not calling that timeout with 3 in your pocket and letting it wind down to a minute or so was just not the way to win that game. But again, that's not just on Jeff Saturday, though. I mean, that's on Matt Ryan. That's on the field. That's on the team, the 11 guys that's on the field that nobody ran up to the ball. They didn't just try to get it out. I mean, that's on those guys on the field too. That's not just coming off the bench. I mean, Matt Ryan knows how to run a 2-minute drill. I mean, that's how he got the nickname Matty Ice. Right. Yeah, so I mean, look, that's that. I think the Colts are going to get better. We'll see. The Steelers, they're not out of it yet, but I mean, it's really hard to. Let me see where that division sits actually before
they're out of
further.
it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Baltimore and Cincy are 7-4. Cleveland and Pittsburgh are 4-7. So I mean, everyone's got to lose out, and you got to win out.
And Cleveland gets Deshaun Watson back this week. So
yep. Let's see. Cowboys beat the Giants. Didn't win about as what I expected. Vikings put up a really good game over the Patriots.
Yeah.
Buccaneers lost to the Browns. This is fair to ask, and the same thing with Green Bay. Are they done? Are Brady and Rodgers done?
I think Rodgers looks more done than Brady does.
He's suiting up this week. He's going to play Sunday against Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's not ready to call it quits. But if you ask me, I feel like Brady looks better on the field than Rodgers does.
Well, I mean, Brady's playing like he just lost a bunch of money from FTX. So
yeah, I mean that's not saying much. Ouch! Damn, man, he took 2 major L's like right away, right? Giselle and FTX back to back.
Dude, I would be. I think football's the only thing keeping him going, man. I mean, look, when your life has problems like that, if you've got something you can hold on to, more power to Tom.
I mean, look,
keep going, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how I would react in his situation right now. Like all the things that went on, knowing that I can still do something for at least another year or two, maybe. And this is it. I'll never be able to do this again. I will never be able to put on an NFL uniform again.
I mean, this honestly might be his last year. Because, I mean, just looking at him, he don't have that same fire. And it could be whatever's going on in his personal life that's doing that. And who knows, maybe he'll go, take Aaron Rodgers' advice, he'll do ayahuasca or something and come back next season and just rule all. I mean, we don't know. But I think Rodgers is done. Russell Wilson's finished. I mean, there's no doubt about that in my mind. There's nothing he can do. He lost everybody on that team. Russell Wilson's completely done. Which means that there's going to be a lot of openings for quarterbacks this year. And we don't have a draft pick. Yay.
Well, that may change.
Well, I mean, Sean Payton's probably might be headed back into the coaching arena. He's talking about it now. Possible landing spots that I've seen so far. Looks like.
Los Angeles.
Sorry, guys. The Chargers and possibly the Raiders is the two I see.
Either one of those teams is going to be the perfect group of guys for him to step into, because Derek Carr. He may not be like the best quarterback in the league, but
Yeah,
with
he's not the second
Adams
coming of
and
Tom
Josh
Brady any
Jacobs
minute.
and it doesn't matter, dude. He can get you where you need to go. He's
Oh, look, I'm not
playoffs.
against him. I've always been on his side. I mean, I like Derek Carr. I think
And he's got one of the best receivers in the
productive.
NFL on his right hand side.
A lot of that has to do with coaching. You know, it's just bad. I think everyone in the world is going to avoid the Broncos as a head coach, because Nathaniel Hackett's not going to get those 3 years I was talking about.
No.
He definitely can't hack it. All right. Yeah,
and we just
he's
lost
not
two
gonna make it.
viewers because of that joke.
I mean, hey, this is what you get. I mean, you tuned into us. It's your fault. I mean, it's not my fault. Yeah, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get those 3 years. He's probably hasn't been fired yet. So I mean, but yeah, no one's that Broncos job is not. Sorry, is not appealing to anyone right now.
Negative. I honestly don't care about the Broncos this year. I think everybody had much higher hopes, including the Broncos themselves. But between Russell Wilson being done and the rest of that team not being able to do anything,
Is that something we'd be interested in?
we do need an OC. I personally want to get Kellen Moore from Dallas, because he's the kind of guy who is going to bring in young talent, and they're going to take the kind of risks you want to see from a Saints team.
But he's not going.
And look, you got Chris Olave, you've got Alvin
Kellen Moore's not
Kamara.
going to lateral move it though. I mean,
No, but he's not going to get a head coaching job.
no, but I mean, he's not leaving Dallas to go be an OC somewhere else. I mean, Denver might have to hire him as a head coach because, like I said, I don't think they'll be able to find anybody that's actually going to be willing to take that job. I don't think there's enough money in the world. I say that, but if they came at me with enough, I would go do it.
I mean, you're going to get just hated on, and there you go.
That's fine. I do that every day of my life anyway. What would be the difference? Except I'm on TV making millions of dollars.
All right, some other notable games from Sunday. Bengals just grinded it out against the Titans, pulled it out. Dolphins are still looking like they're going to be in the AFC Championship. The team went all in, and they're doing it, and I love it. Jets still looking good. They went with Mike White at quarterback, and it worked. 30-10 over the Bears. You know, there's
It was also the Bears. So
it was also the Bears,
and it was the Bears with their third string quarterback, right? I mean,
look, Trevor Siemian.
Justin Fields was out. Trevor Siemian didn't make it through pregame. So I mean, you were the Bears against your third string quarterback. So
yeah, look, if you have David Montgomery, in fantasy, start him the rest of the way, because he's going to have to carry that team.
But pump the brakes on Mike White. I mean, that's just hold tight. That's just like everybody right now. Oh, Jordan Love is taking over for Aaron Rodgers. Calm down, people. He threw one 10-yard pass that Watson, made into something more. It's not like he.
But
dropped
again, the spark was there.
But I mean, if Aaron Rodgers would have threw that ball to him at that moment, he would have done that too.
Yeah,
I mean, if I would have threw the ball to him at that point in time, I mean, not that I could throw it 10 yards, But I mean,
Okay, so other fun endings. Jaguars coming back over the Ravens. That was a fun
yes,
ending.
that
Going
was
for
just
two.
complete meltdown by the Ravens.
Yeah, just I love the so I like to go for two to win
Yeah,
when you would normally have halftime. I mean overtime. I like that
yeah.
now. I used to be like, whatever. No, if your offense is doing well, you roll with it.
And
You know,
Brian Kelly changed you on that.
go for two.
Go for two.
Go for two. And so you have that. The Chargers came back, beat the Cardinals 25-24. So the Chargers are still not out of it. I mean, they're 6-5. Still in the mix.
Kyler Murray still hasn't got a win since the new Call of Duty came out. So,
at least somebody's shooting something. I don't know.
I mean,
Chiefs beat rudderless Rams, who are down 2 starters. So nothing really surprising there. Josh Jacobs, just monster OT run to win that game for the Raiders.
The Raiders.
So they improved to 4-7, but again, that's like one of the best. They're like the Lions. They're the best 4-7.
One of the best worst teams. Yeah.
They're the best worst teams in the NFL. Look, even as bad as the Packers did play, it was still 40-33.
No, they were still in it.
Yeah, it wasn't. They weren't out of it, but at the end of the day, they held Jalen Hurts to under 200 yards passing. Okay, but the rushing yards is what killed them. I mean, you have 363 rushing yards from the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, You had 2 guys, Sanders and Hurts, both over 140. Hurts was almost 160. Okay, Gainwell got in the mix for 39 yards.
This is a game that in the past the Packers win.
Yes.
This but is a game in the past the Packers win.
When your best receiver is Christian Watson, who goes 4 for 110 and a touchdown, and all of that is most of that's on a 63-yarder.
Yeah.
Catch and run. Yeah. What do you do?
I mean, they're not good this year, and it's not just Aaron Rodgers. It's the fact that they didn't replace Devontae Adams with anybody that's serviceable. Their running game isn't great. Their running game isn't great because the defense can sell on the run because they don't have any receivers to have to go cover, right? So they can drop 8 in the box, or 7 or 8 in the box, and you just stop the run. It doesn't matter how good your offensive line is; they can't create a hole for you if there's that many people. There's only 5. There's 5 on 7 or 5 on 8 because they don't have to worry about covering those guys because none of those receivers can get open on their own or do whatever they have to do. And even if Aaron Rodgers, as much as I hate the guy, even if he does hit them dead in the hands, they still drop the ball. So I mean, it's just one of those situations to where the management of the Packers failed their team, and now their team is failing, and they're trying to figure out why. And it's just a circle thing going on there. You let one of the best receivers in the NFL leave, and you didn't replace him. So that's on you.
Yep. And, I think LaFleur is close to done. He's on the hot seat.
I mean, he makes it through this season. I don't see him being fired.
Depends how bad they finish out.
But yeah, I mean, you're one season removed from the NFC Championship game. They're not. Well, I'll say the NFC Championship game. I'm sorry. No, they lost. So fuck it, he might be out. What am I talking about? They lost on the conference round. So
and then look, you got the last overtime game. We touched on it earlier. It was the Cleveland and in Tampa. I forgot that was overtime. So I mean, good for the Cleveland. Getting that over to you. It was Nick Chubb again. So I mean, it was running backs day. This weekend. So, yay. Next weekend. All right. It's going to become some good stuff coming up. You got your classic Buffalo and New England on Thursday. Green Bay at Chicago. Jacksonville, Detroit's going to be fun. New York at Minnesota, I think, is going to be a very fun game to watch.
Which New York?
Jets.
I'm sorry, I'm not looking at it. So the Jets at Minnesota.
Jets and Vikings. Yeah, Jets and Vikings. Then you got the Redskins at the New York Football Giants. Then Tennessee at Philly, Denver, Baltimore, Cleveland over at Houston with the return of Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Is it this week? I think it's this week.
No, it's this week. The massage.
Yeah, at Houston. Yeah. Oh, God, I love it.
I saw something today that said that the lawyer that is representing most of the masseuses,
Mm-hmm.
the touchies,
Yes. The sweet endings.
yeah, that they're actually going to be at the game. I don't know why, because I mean that's what you want to go do, is to go face your accuser and watch him drop a dime to Amari Cooper. You know.
I mean, sure. Miami at San Francisco should be good. We'll see how San Francisco stacks up against a much better team in Miami than the Saints. Kansas City.
I honestly,
you got the AFC Championship from last year. Kansas City at Cincinnati.
let's go back to San Francisco, and I'm confused on them.
What do you mean?
I don't know if they're that good. I don't know if they're good. I mean, they're giving them credit. I mean, they've won a couple close games in the last 4 weeks. I mean, ooh, you beat the Saints. Ooh, good for you. That one really doesn't count towards your resume of being fantastic. I mean, since they acquired McCaffrey, yeah, they've been on the winning end. But I mean, what is it?
Well, I mean, you beat the Rams, the Chargers, the Cardinals. You lost to the Chiefs pretty badly, and before that, you lost to the Chiefs and the Falcons.
Okay, so I mean, let's go back. The Rams. They caught the Rams when the Rams started their downward spiral, right? You played the Cardinals after Call of Duty came out. You're not getting the best out of Kyler Murray at this point. You played the Saints. You're not playing teams with winning resumes.
Yeah, Kupp got injured in that game for the 49ers. I mean, for the Rams and 49ers. I thought so.
But the Rams were already on their way down at that point, even before.
Yeah, they've been looking rough. They've been looking rough all year.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're just not. They're a good team. I'm not taking that away from them. Yes, they can win games, but I don't think they're as good as everyone says they are. So what I'm saying is, I think Miami's going to roll them.
I think Miami's gonna win this by 10 points.
Yeah, I think Miami's going to roll them. That's just me. Don't lock it down. Don't bet that. But I'm just, thinking.
Chargers at Raiders. That game matters. India, Dallas. We'll get to see Jeff Saturday. See if he can go 500 against in Dallas.
God, I'm cheering for the Colts only for Jeff Saturday.
I know.
Right now.
I know.
Like, I want him to win games because I want everybody's take on the fact that he got hired just to be so wrong. I want him to succeed, because the first thing everybody said, oh, well, they didn't follow the Rooney Rule. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. They hired a guy off the street with no experience whatsoever. Screw that. Maybe that's what you need. That's why I want him to be. That's why I want him to win. Screw all the everything. The way things are supposed to be done.
Right. Sometimes you got to break the mold, and that's.
Yeah.
That's something that our modern society doesn't like.
He doesn't fit. He doesn't fit that.
I don't care if you're the best person for the job. You're the best person for the job. Okay. If you know the owner and you're buddies with the general manager and you can get in, you can use your connections to get that job. Do it.
I mean, nepotism. It ruins the world.
I don't care. The best I can do is, if I'm up for that job, I can go in and I can give the best interview I can. I can do the best I can on that football field as a coordinator to make the case that I need to be a head coach. But if Jeff Saturday is the guy who comes in and says, hey, let's rally, and you start looking like the Lions do, and you start playing like the Lions do, and you're winning games, then you know what? We went through the Frank Reich era. Frank Reich was a really good coach. He's a really good coach.
I mean,
But
he had
could
his
not.
moments.
He could not put this team together this year.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have a home somewhere else next year. You know,
Maybe not next year.
but he'll be
Couple
back.
seasons
He'll be
removed.
back in the South.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot more coordinators that are going to be getting shots because of what you're seeing in with the Jets and what you're seeing with Dayball with the Giants.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, Robert Saleh has completely turned the
Dude.
team around with no quarterback.
no,
You know, I
None.
mean, with no
or
quarterback.
yeah, they still don't have their they don't have their guy, but it looks like it's going to be White for now.
You know, it's not Zach Wilson. It's not Joe Flacco. It's not going to be Mike White. It's not. Have a quarterback, and they're still finding ways to win games right now. You know, so kudos to Robert Saleh. I think he should be up there in the talks for Coach of the Year, but it's going to probably fall down to Eagles head coach. Can't think of his name right now. And I
Miami,
think it's Miami. That's Mike McDaniel.
yeah, McDaniel.
Yeah, I think it's between those two guys right now. That's just me.
Sirianni.
Definitely not.
I think it's.
not.
I think
Hands
Sirianni.
down.
I think Sirianni is going to be the guy just because the Eagles are doing
Yeah,
better than the Dolphins.
and the Eagles are not just that team who's a product of their schedule. I mean, they're winning the games outright. You know, they're playing good teams and they're still winning. So it's not like they're not the Steelers from a couple years ago where they, you know, won the games because they were given just easiest schedule in the league up until that point. I mean, the Eagles have actually beat teams with winning resumes this season. So, you know,
Yeah,
not
I mean,
taking
look,
that away from them.
Mike McDaniel is, you know, as coaches go, he's very young,
Yeah,
and I think he, reminds me a lot of,
Ruxin from the League. If you ever watched the show The League, he looks just like Ruxin. I don't want to do anything on my computer to bring up a picture and run side by side, but if you could find a picture of Ruxin from the League and throw him up there, that's Mike McDaniel.
So what Mike McDaniel kind of reminds me of the way he's kind of come into the team's doing is Eric Spoelstra. Yeah, I forgot how you say it. Hey, Eric Spoelstra is like, you know, first few years in Miami, you know, when he had D-Wade, when he had LeBron, and they like really just came together and put a championship team together. So I think that's to me that's a parallel that I see. You know, maybe I'm off base, but
That's what the Rams did last year.
yeah.
The problem is, though, is it sustainable? Are the Dolphins going to be able to do it for another season, another 2 seasons?
I think so.
If they don't make it all the way to the dance this year, they don't win it. They don't win it because they still have to go through Kansas City. And say what you want, Kansas City.
The Bills
right now. The Bills have kind of fallen off a little bit. Injuries have kind of taken them down. You know, kind of knocked them off a bit.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're number 2 right now in the division.
They're still up at the top in the AFC, so they still have to make it through the Bills, and they still got to make it.
Good
through
Lord, the
Kansas City.
AFC East does not have a losing record.
And that's with the Patriots.
Oh my goodness!
And the Jets. I mean, look, that's what I'm saying.
The AFC and the NFC East do not have losing records. No one on those 2 divisions has a losing record. Wow.
Yeah, they saved that all for the AFC and NFC South.
The South has all losing records. The West is 50-50. Hold on. Only the Vikings have a winning record in the North. Good Lord, the NFC is
and the Lions are actually second place in that division.
God, the NFC is a mess. Jesus.
Yes. Horrible mess. The Commanders make the playoffs if it ends today.
I just
can't. Taylor
Heineke. I can't.
It's hard to look at, man. It's so confusing.
I can't deal with this.
Make it make sense. Make it make
The
sense.
entire NFC East is going to be in the playoffs if it ended today.
Make it make sense. You can't because I can't.
2022, you made no sense.
Yeah. But look, guys, we're glad to be back this week. It's good to get some football out and talk it through. We've been going for about 46 minutes at this moment. 45 because a minute and a half of that was us doing the intro and just jacking around because we didn't even realize what was going on. But hey, we're out of practice. It'll be better next week. But yes, please. I mean, just make it make sense. Make the NFC make sense. Make football make sense. Y'all figure out ways to make it make sense. Comment on it, and we'll talk about it next week on how we can make it make sense. Because I don't think we can.
I don't think it's possible.
But I mean, we're just gonna keep going around, just pulling what's left of either of our hairs out. So we're gonna have to go ahead and let y'all go this week.
I think David says just thumbs up, and it makes sense. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, well, the Patriots have a winning record, so he's happy.
Yeah, I know, right?
What can you say? That's a friend of mine from Rhode Island, so Patriots fan. So he's happy the Patriots are putting it together. So, all right, guys, that's it, man. I got nothing else. We're gonna keep saying the same thing this week.
So let's see if we don't have to cuss the refs out again this week.
No, we will. Fire all the refs. Fire all the refs. Fire all the refs.
Just change all the rules to make sense.
Bring back the
What's the catch?
Bring back the scabs and define what's a catch. All right, guys. Good to see y'all this week. We'll catch y'all next week. That's it.
Peace.
Deuces.